Today, we gather here to mark a carefully considered milestone in our stewardship of public resources. That is a partial investment of a portion of government shares in Safaricom PLC. I will be clear from the outset that this is a partial divestment, and the government will continue to retain a significant stake in the company. This decision follows rigorous analysis, independent valuation advice, and compliance with the Public Finance Management Act and other regulatory requirements. It reflects a broader national objective, which is mobilizing non-tax revenue responsibly to support sustainable public finances while preserving the national interests. Safaricom, as you all know, ladies and gentlemen, is one of Kenya's great success stories. Over the past 2 decades, it has expanded access to communications, payments, and digital services that have transformed livelihoods. In fact, if there is one thing that Kenya is known for, is M-Pesa, revolutionary, and has set up in a trajectory of one of those countries that are considered to be very serious in terms of digital transformation. So our intent in taking this step is to strengthen Safaricom's ability to invest in the next wave of digital infrastructure and services, from 5G and fiber to fintech and regional expansion. That ability to invest will benefit Kenyan consumers, businesses, and the economy in general. So today's transaction is governed by well-established safeguards, regulatory institutions including Parliament, or National Assembly to be specific, the Capital Markets Authority, the Communications Authority of Kenya, the Central Bank of Kenya, and the Competition Authority, among other regulators which will have oversight roles. Let me also highlight the governance reality, that this is a shareholder level adjustment, not an operational takeover. Safaricom's management and board continue to have responsibility for day-to-day operations. The government role as a strategic shareholder continues, and I will elaborate shortly. So in the coming days, we will fulfill all statutory disclosure obligations and requirements and provide further details through the Capital Markets Authority and Nairobi Securities Exchange filings as is required by law. We will also continue to engage, or our engagement with Parliament and the public through the forums that our democracy provides. Once complete, the funds from this transaction will be seed capital, and I want to emphasize that. Once complete, the funds from this transaction will be the seed capital for the National Infrastructure Fund and the Sovereign Wealth Fund, which we have previously talked about. I urge Parliament, and more particularly National Assembly, to expedite the approval of the instruments required to establish the two funds, ensuring they are operational by the time the transfer occurs, so Kenyans can begin enjoying the benefits immediately. This partial 15% divestiture will generate approximately 240.5 billion shillings in aggregate proceeds. Of course, we can't be exact because this will be the revenue will be in foreign currency. So if you convert it to Kenya shillings, it will be averaging about 240.5 billion shillings. It is important to note, and I emphasize that this transaction has gained us a 23.6% premium on the 6-month volume weighted average price. So we are selling at a premium of 23.6%. I will also emphasize at this stage that this is the first step in the government's vision to allocate resources into critical infrastructure investment priorities, specifically energy, roads, water, airports, etc., without subjecting Kenya to more debts and without raising or hiking taxes. Investment in priority national infrastructure is aimed at ensuring that it becomes a powerful tool to fuel our economy, accomplish strategic goals and scale public investment by bridging institutional capital with public projects. So what we are trying to do is to get private sector participation and institutional investors into participating in public investment projects. So this will provide a bridge or linkage between the two. Private investment is sitting out there, institutional resources are sitting out there, and we have public infrastructure projects here which needs funding. How do you get, or how do you crowd in private sector funding into these projects? This initiative, the setting up of the National Infrastructure Fund and the setting up of Sovereign Wealth Fund will provide that bridge. Finally, I also wish to thank Vodacom for its long-term partnership. We are confident that this step strengthens Kenya's digital future, supports prudent fiscal management, and promotes deeper capital market participation. But I just want to elaborate a few things, ladies and gentlemen, and for the benefit of the Kenyan public. We have secured a number of undertakings with the Vodacom, which we have put into an agreement insofar as possible in its capacity as a shareholder of the company. Number one, no employee redundancies are declared by the company other than in the ordinary course of business. Number two, support the continued existence and operation of each of the Safaricom Foundation and M-Pesa Foundation, charitable foundations established by the company. And number three, prior to supporting any expansion outside Kenya, excluding any existing operations outside of Kenya, consult with the government of Kenya in respect of such expansions prior to such expansion, provided that the government of Kenya's consent shall not be required for Vodacom support of any expansion. I hope that is clear. The chairman and the chief executive officer of the company shall at all times be citizens of Kenya. Number five, there are no changes to the executive committee of the company as constituted on the signature date without the consent of the chief executive officer, who, if you go back to 4, shall be a Kenyan or citizens of Kenya. I don't know whether those two terminologies mean the same, but the lawyers in the room can tell us. Number 6, there are no changes to the corporate brand of the company, including, without limitation, any change to the Safaricom brand name, trademarks, logos, or associated get-up. So we will not wake up and tomorrow start seeing, with all due respect to orange or any other color, that we will not see Safaricom now orange or white or whichever. Let me expand the colors. Black. It will remain the color that we know. It will still continue to green our space. Number 7, there are no significant changes to local suppliers within the next 3 years following the signature date, other than in the ordinary course of business. Number 8, independent directors will at all times have majority as Kenyan citizens. And lastly, all trustees of the Safaricom Foundation and the M-Pesa Foundation or any future foundations established by the company shall be citizens of Kenya, and all funds of such foundations shall be utilized for projects in Kenya. So we will not see the money from the foundation being utilized in other space out there. It will be used in Kenya. So no action or decision contemplated in paragraphs A to F shall be undertaken, implemented, recommended, approved, or proposed, whether by the board, any committee of the board, any shareholder of the company or management without the prior written consent of the government of Kenya. So in my view, and in the view of our advisors, we have secured Kenyans' interest because this